was in a meeting in a large American city and away from home, right? I'm walking home from the meeting one night. It's late at night and the meeting lasted a little long. And I'm walking home and I'm approached by a panhandler. And I ultimately offer the person, a meal. I say, name a meal, I'll buy you a meal and we'll go and we'll have dinner together or whatever. And so the person wants pizza from this particular restaurant. And so we go to this restaurant, we order a pizza. Now, I don't normally eat pizza. We eat pizza, and towards the end of the conversation, the person says that they're diabetic. And then I get this, I'm alarmed. I'm like, what? You're diabetic and you're eating pizza? I mean, why didn't you tell me you're diabetic? And the person was like, well, what would you have done after figuring out that I'm diabetic? He said, like, I wanted pizza. And I told him we could have gone to a convenience store and I could have gotten you a meal there. And then he was like, you can get nutritious foods at a convenience store, as if pizza is the ideal form of food you should be eating if you're diabetic, right? And so I went into a story and tried to explain to him how diabetes works and how at the convenience store we could have gotten a salad and some eggs and been all right. And I was surprised the person had no idea. The person probably has diabetes medication, probably has diabetes, probably has issues, gaining muscle, right? The person probably has issues with diabetes that cost him a lot of money, and it's usually based on your diet choices and what you choose for nutrition. Um, I was flabbergasted. I'm thinking like people are walking around not understanding there are alternatives to taking diabetes medication, or there are ways to eating. There are ways to eat that will steer you away from needing diabetes medication. Let's say it that way, right? Now, if you're diabetic, I totally understand. You get it from your doctor, but in my opinion, there's a deeper conversation to be had about the choices you're making day to day in your meal choices. This is coming from a person, me. I'm genetically predisposed to be uh, type 2 diabetic, right? Predisposed. So genetically, people with my genes, or the specific type of genes that I have in my DNA, predisposed to be type 2 diabetic. So over the years, I developed this um, uh, way of thinking about food, and it started from my days when I was doing triathlons, and I was in my 30s. For those of you that don't know, I'm Schmidtie. By the way, welcome to my YouTube channel. Um, I studied for and trained for triathlons for 18 months before completing and uh, doing well in my first Olympic distance triathlon, and I finished it in 2 hours and 51 minutes. And the way I approached nutrition back then was similar to the way I approach it now. And it has to do with um, making food choices based on the outcome as opposed to making food choices based on virtual randomness, right? And also, I choose to eat this way because it's more flexible than any other way of eating that I've come across so far. So, like I was on almost on a working vacation somewhere away from home. I didn't know where I could eat. I structured my diet in a way to where um, I could eat whatever I needed to eat, as opposed to being in a bind where I was limited to my choices, right? And so anyway, in this story, I go on to explain that I, would have offered a person a salad and some hard-boiled eggs, and then given them uh, you know an idea of the things that he could eat during the conversation that we had at a meal that would make him less likely to need diabetic medication, right? So anyway, in those of you that don't know, I have a company that I founded. It's part of this, this YouTube channel is a part of the company. It's called I Heart Gains. A couple years ago, I wrote an ebook called the Ketogenic Advantage Blueprint, and it's not about uh, you know changing your diet to ketogenic diet and sticking to a ketogenic diet and how to stick to a ketogenic diet. It's about mostly about how to get your body to adapt over time to eating mostly fats, right? Because there's a lot of research out there that says fat is bad for you. In my opinion, the body adapts. Part of the adaptation process, for example, for a triathlete is running, a 9-minute mile to running a 6-minute mile. Your body is adapting over time, right? Within a year and a half, I'm running, you know, a mile 3 minutes faster than at the beginning. And that's an adaptation the body has, right? No one can run a 6-minute mile if they've never run a mile before. It's highly unlikely as an adult you can do that, right? Uh, Similarly, no one can go from eating a standard American diet to a ketogenic diet overnight. Your body has to adapt, and your body adapts over time. B vitamins can be either pro-inflammatory or anti-inflammatory. CoQ10, right, can either be anti-inflammatory or pro-inflammatory. Who would have thought that these things that people tell you that you should take as supplements can either be pro-inflammatory or anti-inflammatory depending on the context? Anyway, if you want to find out how to keto adapt, right, this is not telling you um, that you need to eat ketogenic diet all the time, but it's the ebook tells you the benefits of and how to quickly. And a lot of it has to do with muscle fiber, right? So let me fix my glasses. Muscle fiber. Muscle fiber type plays a difference. Muscle fiber type makes a difference in how you consume macronutrients. And many people don't know this. Maybe this is for a different video. Muscle fiber type plays a role in how you metabolize nutrients from your meal. But anyway, I'll save these ideas for a different video. I just want to talk about, if you're at a loss and you're diabetic, um, check out the Ketogenic Advantage Blueprint. I'm Schmidtie. I hope you reach your fitness goals, and I'll talk to you in the next one.